Hi guys, Mark Terrell from Paint with Mark, and I thought today we would paint a beautiful seascape picture. So the materials we're going to use today are a 1-inch brush, a 2-inch brush, a knife, and I may use a fan brush, number 6 fan brush, and I'm probably going to use a liner brush. The colours that we're going to use today are titanium white, Prussian blue, phthalo green, alizarin crimson, dark Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, bright red, and I put a little bit of white there. Now I've already applied an even coat of liquid white on the whole of the canvas, just to make sure it's nice and slick and ready to accept paint. So with that said, we're going to create a beautiful seascape picture. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go into some phthalo green. Now you don't use a lot of phthalo green. I'm just going to put a little bit down on my brush, pull it down, tap, turn it over, tap. Going to come up to my canvas and I'm just going to stroke it across the canvas, just across the canvas. So I've just applied it a little bit here and there, and then I'm also going to rub it along the bottom of the canvas as well, very lightly, just with the rest I've got left. Just fill it in, backwards and forwards. Across the bottom half of the canvas. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush. I'm just going to wipe my brush on some baby wet on a towel. Just going to wipe the brush on a towel, paper towel, just to remove excess paint. I don't want to put it into thinners yet, so I'm just squeezing out the excess paint. And then I'm just going to come across. Now you notice I've left areas of white. That's what you want to do. I've just basically put a bit of colour on. So I'm just going to use crisscross strokes now and applying lighter pressure. I'm just going to go over what's up there. Just blending in, and it's going to mix with the liquid white in the background. Just going lightly over this canvas, just blending. I'm just applying light pressure, crisscross strokes. Okay, apply a little bit less pressure. Okay, without cleaning the brush, I'm going to go into some Prussian blue. And again, this is a very powerful colour, so I'm just going to touch the corner of my brush. I'll pull a little bit of that out. I don't want too much. That's going to kill it everywhere. I'm just going to come up to the corners and apply it into the corners first, and then just along the top here, put some into the top and just bring it down just a little tiny bit into the phthalo green, just so it mixes in a bit. Okay, I haven't reloaded the brush at all. I'm just going to keep now blending it by applying light pressure, but going back over the blue. So light pressure, blending it all together now. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to get my knife and I'm going to get some blue, some of the blue, put it down. I'm going to get some of the Van Dyke brown and some of the alizarin crimson. I mix them all together. Nice dark mix. Put a bit more blue in there. So it's a bluey, a little bit of tint of brown, just so it's dark really. And get a fan brush, number 6 fan brush. And I'm going to use that mix, a dark mix. I'm going to tap it in there. I'm just going to dance it on, and I'm basically flicking back, moving it left and right, up and down, to create some dark on here, movement, dark clouds, just different pieces. You know, again, this is random. The more random you keep this, the better it's going to be. You know, it's a few dark ones up here, and I'm just doing that again, just randomly doing it over here, as so. So I've just sort of twist this around and put in some of this dark, and then I'm going to go back to my 2-inch brush and very lightly go backwards and forwards, crisscross strokes, just to push this back a little bit. So I'm just blending this in, very light, crisscross strokes, backwards and forwards, very light. You don't want it too prominent, so I'm just pushing this back by lightly doing the crisscross strokes, which is creating the clouds for us automatically. So a nice stormy sky. Once I've done the crisscross strokes, I'll come backwards and forwards over there. I might do a couple more down here, I think. So just get my brush, a little bit there. That might be a little bit there. Crisscross strokes. Brilliant. Okay. Now I'm going to clean my fan brush into, I'm going to use baby oil. I'm going to use baby oil. Just today I don't want to use thinners. But again, you could use odourless thinners if you want to use odourless thinners, but today I'm going to use baby oil because it's much better for the brushes and obviously less toxic and fumes. So I'm just going to, I've got a little bucket and I've got a little grill inside of this bucket, which I tap in the baby oil and then wipe it on the grill. You can get these from most craft shops. So I'm just wiping it over there, and then you must make sure you get all the excess baby oil out of the brush before you use it again. It's very important you do that. So that's clean. So now I'm going to go into some white. Going to white, I'm going to have a little touch, just a hint, I mean a really hint of red. So I'm just going to touch the red and put it into that white. Now I'm doing this a little bit probably more redder than what I would normally do, but it's just for you for the camera. So, but again, it will mean it will really stand out and you can see it. And so I've got a lot of white there. I've loaded my brush fully, and I'm just going to come up and I'm just going to push some of this white underneath some of the dark clouds. So I'm sort of looking at the light is coming up. I'm just going to push it in. Again, you don't need to be too critical about this. Again, this is random, so again I'm going to put bits here, put bits there, and all over the place really. I just want to get some white in on there, because the light, which you know, you get hints of the sun shining upwards, and so I'm just going to put bits of white in here and there. Down there, across there, I think. Yeah. A few down here. Okay. Once you've done that, I'm going to get a clean 2-inch brush. And very lightly do the same. Very light crisscross strokes. Very light crisscross strokes. And applying hardly any pressure. Hardly any pressure at all. Crisscross strokes. Applying hardly any pressure. Just fluffing these clouds up. And once I've gone over the clouds, I'll very lightly go right across the whole lot. Across like that. Okay, now I want to make a nice bright area in the sky here, which is going to reflect down into our water. So with some more of that white, pick up some white. It's got a little bit of touch of red in there, make it a bit pinky. Load the brush one way, the other way. Really load it up. And I'm just going to hold my brush like this. I'm going to think about where this is coming down. It's going to be shining down here. So I want a nice bright area here. Something like that, a nice bright area there. So I've just touched it on the canvas. Hopefully you can see that nice bright area there. And then I'm going to use my brush again, very lightly, just to brush over it, very lightly. So hopefully you can see there's a nice bright area here. It's going to be shining down. There. And I'm going to create the horizon line now along here. So I'm going to use a little bit of the phthalo green, and I'm going to use the dark mix that we started with, and I'm going to also get a bit of white. So a little bit of white, the dark colour that I've been using, and a little bit of phthalo green. Want it dark enough, but want it to become darker as things come towards us. So going to look at where we're going to put our horizon line here. So I think it's going to come along about here. Again, you could use a bit of tape, masking tape, to put on there first to get it exactly, but for this demonstration I'm not too worried. A bit along there. I'm just going to put it off the side. And I'm doing rocking strokes, which was backwards and forwards like this. So up and down rocky strokes at the sides here. Leaving gaps, just doing rocky strokes to create water movement. And again, I'm going to do this side. So I'm going to tap this lightly. Again, just backwards and forwards, rocky movements. Over the side, same thing. Now lightly going backwards and forwards over lightly the fan brush. I'll bring it right up to here for a minute. And over this side I'm going I'm just going to lighten this up here by using a fan brush. I'm just going to put some of that light colour on there, just a touch. Just on here, just to fade that a little bit. The distance. All I'm doing, I'm just adding some more white, just here. Just that horizon line. Okay. Now, obviously this light is shining through here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some of the white into that. So again, we've done your crisscross strokes here. Obviously we've got to get it, it's going right across, this is going right across the water. So we create your movement, and basically I'm just going up and down. So you've got it up and down. So you've got a few movements like that that go up, then down, up, then down. So it's creating movement in this water, up and down, troughs, little troughs. So I'm just going lightly across here. I don't want too much across here because I want to keep this bit light. So I've just sort of pulled a little bit of the colour across. I'm just going to wipe the brush. Right, now I'm just going to create a little bit more movement by going back into the dark colour and just doing it a little bit irregular. You won't see too much because obviously it's a long way away, but I just want to create the illusion that there's something going on here and there. I'm just going to create little points of interest where I'm just touching the canvas and pulling it down again. So it just looks like there's movement in the water here, basically. I'm going to put obviously some waves across here. So next thing, I'm going to go into my dark mix again. Load it up both sides. We'll create a wave sort of that comes along here. So basically I'm just going to wiggle a shape down across, down and down over to there. And all I'm doing is I'm just getting a bit of colour on the canvas. I'm just lightly rubbing with my fan brush, bit of colour on there. Again, you don't see too much movement, but the closer it is to you, the darker you need to make the waves. So I'm not going to have this one too big. All I've done is I've just scraped a bit of colour on the canvas, really. Keep it all random and different. Bit behind it. There. Okay, you don't need hardly any action at all on the canvas to make it look like water. Okay, so there's that one there, and then I think I'll do another one here. Again, I'm going to put some rocks and things in here. So I'm going to go a little bit darker. Put another one here, I think. There, like that. I'll just pull down. Basically, I'm just getting colour on that at the moment. I'm just sort of pulling it down. Like this, and then going up here, we just do the rocking strokes, just so that gets that covered for a minute. But we're going to put rocks and things in anyway, so and we're going to highlight, and we're going to make these, but it's not finished up there, but it's sort of, you can see an idea of where we're going with that. Okay, now I'm going to clean the fan brush into the baby oil again, and I'll wipe it on in a bucket. Just want to get it nice and clean, and wipe it into some paper toweling. Okay, now I want to get some light along this area here, so I'm going to go into our light mix, pull it one side and pull it the other side, and I'm just going to do the same strokes, backwards and forwards, rocking strokes out here. And bring it towards us, going to come down. But I want it to be very, very bright. So I'm just going to load up the fan brush on the tip there, and I'm just going to touch the canvas. So now I'm just going to touch along, following the shape of the waves that we created. Pull it along. I just want this very, very bright along here, and then going to take it out to some of these at the sides, and all I'm going to do is just touch the top of these waves that we created. So it looks like the sun is just shining down, just caught the edge of these waves, just here and there. Just that's nice and bright. Getting that light coming through here. So it's the light shining, it's coming through. So I hope you can see that. It should be bright here, coming nice. Just touch here and there. Lovely. So this is really bright. I want this really bright at the top here. Okay. Now on the top of our waves, we'll get again a white, into some white, and it's got a touch of red. Pull it one side, pull it down the other side, and just push up to create a nice little ridge. And then all I'm going to do is just on the very tops, I'm just going to touch and push up, touch and push up, just on the very top of these waves. You can see the actual splashing of these waves. Some on here, I'm going to the very tops, just touching, putting it down. On this one, just pushing upwards, touching at the top, pushing up, create the sense of the splash, or when it's rolling over. Okay, now once you've got that, you can actually, as it comes closer to you, you want a bit more detail. So you're actually going to just pull this down just lightly. Some of that white you've put in there, you're just going to pull it down just very lightly. Two hairs and some air. Just a very small amount. Again, I'll do a bit on this one. Just very, very lightly. Just pull it down. Just touch. Pull it down. You just pull in a little bit of that white down, so it looks like it's giving it movement, complete movement to this wave. Okay. And here and there, again, you can just touch a few of these in the water here, just here and there, so you get that impression that there's movement in the water. Lovely. Pull down here. Just going to pull some of that colour down. I'm going to put some rocks in there. So, I get my knife and I want some dark colour, so we're going to go into some Van Dyke Brown, Prussian Blue, So Van Dyke brown and Prussian blue. I think we'll have a couple up here. So basically I'm just going to go in here and just put in a few rocks. Rock shapes there, and put one in there. I'll put a few over this side, I think. So I'll load up the brush, just get the dark in there. Just scrape it in. And keep the shapes random, don't do it all the same, you want different shapes. I'm just scratching. I'll put the colour on first, apply the colour, and then I'm just scratching off the excess colour. So I'm just basically like staining. Let's do a big one there. Staining the canvas. Okay. So we've got a nice top edge, bit of dark. Let's have another one. Let's have another one out there, I think. Again, get the colour, spread it flat, get a roll on the knife, and you just come in. Let's have a little one there. I'm going to have another little one there, sticking out. I'll have some more over this side, I think. If we go around in a minute, you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a moment. Hold it there. Coming off of there. Okay. So, once we've got some basic shapes in, we can use this fan brush. Just use the fan brush. Go into the white. It's got a little bit of red on there, and make sure you've got a lot of paint. Fully load it, push up, and then at the base of these rocks, you're just going to go at that angle. You're just going to push and touch up at the bottom of it, and that gives the implication that the water is splashing up at the base of the rock. Now you want to wipe the fan brush because it will pick up some colour, and then very carefully with some 2 hairs and some air, basically you're just going to use the fine bristle, pull this up very lightly up the rock. That will give the indication that all the water has gone on there and splashed down. Okay, so basically round that, and it's pushed that right back now, and again we can just do rocking movements around here. It doesn't matter if it picks up a bit of that colour, because it looks like it's dark from that rock, the shadow of the rock there. So I'm going to go into some more white. A little bit of red on there. A lot more white. Push up. And I'm going to do the same at this one here. Push up, push up, push up, push up, bang, bang, push up. And again, it just creates the illusion. Just touch very lightly and pull it up. Pull it up those rocks. More white. And this one, push up right at the base here, push up. And I'm just going to lift up slightly. Now here, you can have it so it's splashing at the side, this big rock. Again, load one side, the other side, push it up. And again, you can have it so it's just splashing at the side here. So we could push it up here, as if it's come splash at the top here. And we could even drizzle, get a little bit on the side of our fan brush of the white, and we can have it so it's just coming down the rock as it's coming over, just falling down, coming over the rock. So the water's actually come over the rock there. Again, we can put a bit more here, just very lightly, as if the water's just splashing over the side of the rock. And again here, apply very light pressure, just to let the water fall down over the rocks. This one here, this needs pushing in a bit more, so I'm going to get some more white, push it at the base, and I'm going to just down here, which is a little bit of rocking backwards and forwards, down here. Rocking backwards and forwards. And again, you can use your liner brush if you want to put lots of detail, lots of, more and more detail in this. You can get a bit more, get a bit of the white with some thinners. A bit of white, very thin it right down like ink consistency, and you can start doing little tiny pieces in these waves, little lines, bits of pieces. Again, with this liner brush, I'm just doing backwards and forwards rocking movements. Again, it just creates the illusion of movement in this water. Backwards and forwards, very lightly. Backwards and forwards. Lots of overlapping strokes. Overlapping strokes. Just creating movement. So with that said, I think it's a nice easy seascape picture for you to follow along with. If you enjoy these videos, I'd love it if you can subscribe to Paint with Mark on YouTube. Please like, share and post your comments below. Thanks very much. That's Smart with Paint with Mark, signing off.